G'day guys, Googs here and you're welcome to my drunk philosophy. Today I'm going to be talking about something that seems to be an issue, at least in Yankeeville. Well, I've heard murmurings of it here in Australia. The China virus. We can't call it the China virus. It's racist to call it the China virus. Nobody seems to give a fuck though if the Chinese call the Spanish flu the Spanish flu. Spain, of course, being European, predominantly white country. Well, at least by today's standards when it comes to race. Isn't that racist to call it the Spanish flu? But they do. Well, why is this such a issue? Well, you see, China doesn't like being thought of in any kind of negative way, which is not unusual for a communist dictatorship. Okay, we've got to remember that China is not our friend. I've made videos on this before. And after this bloody coronavirus, no shit, we need to kick China in the bumhole. Now, I'm not suggesting going to any kind of physical war with them, but it's time that we sort of gave them a flick. Because as powerful as, for some reason, people think they are, they're not as powerful as we or they think. You see, with a free market economy, world economy, we don't need them. We just don't. Because there are cheaper places, like if you're an Apple or a Google or I don't know, whoever, another large corporation, there's a country right next door called India. I've been saying this for ages too. And their labour is really cheap. They're a democracy and they're a friend. In World War I and World War II, our soldiers and their soldiers, as two Commonwealth nations, stood side to side with each other. We're friends. We're allies. We have been allies for a long time. Wouldn't it make more sense to go with them? You know, China is trying to say, oh, racist, racist, racist. That's just a bloody load of baloney. They're only saying that because in the West at the moment, we're too busy yelling at each other over the colour of our bloody skin, and they know it. And they're trying to take advantage of it. And we can't allow it to be so. China is a country. It's a geographical location. We're not saying it's the Chinese virus. I think you'd have a reasonable case to say, well, that's at the very least bigoted. No, it's the China virus. It came from the country of China. To be more precise, the city of Wuhan. You know, this whole thing with China is getting out of hand. You know, we need to start telling them to bugger off. Especially those of us who still live in liberal democracies. It's about time we told China where to stick it. Go to India. India's cheaper. And they're our friends and we'll be helping them economically grow. I think that's a bloody good idea. Instead of going with a communist dictatorship who hates its people, and if you want any evidence of how much it hates its people, they've got this social program, and I've made a video on this too, basically where you've got a series of merit points, and if a friend, a neighbour, a teacher, whatever, decides that either A, they don't like you, or B, you're not following the governmental rules, they'll dob you in, and you'll start losing these points to the... And there's millions of people right now in China because of this system who can't travel at all. Can't take a bus, can't take a train because apparently they don't like the government enough. You know, there's a whole group of Muslim people in that country who right now are in a concentration camp in the fucking full meaning of that term. They are being retrained because they don't fit the paradigm of the government. Okay? And if you're one of those socialist communist people, I hate to tell you, this is socialistic communism. You know, they're quite happy to trade with the rest of the world, but God help you if you're actually in their country under their purveyance. This whole thing with China needs to stop. We need to take back our engineering. We need to take back our manufacturing. We need to take back our fucking everything. And if we're going to put them overseas, then at least give them to a country that has a liberal democracy and that is our friend and ally, aka India. Fuck China. Fuck its regime. Fuck its bureaucracy. The people themselves, man, I feel bad for, because they are being treated worse than slime. If you need to have suicide nets around your freaking office buildings to stop people jumping out the windows and killing themselves because they can't handle it anymore, man, you've got problems. So I say, fuck China. And after this, let's stop dealing with them. Let's go to India or some other country that we can actually do something for, that has far more a liberal democracy than China's communistic bent. I'm Nathan Gooks Fletcher. This is my drunk philosophy. And I'll catch you good folk down the road. Uru, be good, and above all else, be safe. See ya.